Short game wise, yes, I can. Long game wise, no. No, I have not.
He's talking the long game.
They played the long game.
They gotta play the long game.
They're experienced and they played the long game.
No, you're talking the long game.
They're experienced and they played the long game.
Very nice.
Long game is back.
Case, how excited are you? This is your week, man. Is this the week?
This is the best week of the year.
Is it?
Not? I think so.
Yeah, it's a good week.
What else ranks up there, if not Masters Week?
WNBA playoffs, maybe.
And what month does that start? Since it's top of mind for you.
The June, same as the finals.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think they put those head to head. No.
Yeah, it's a great week. Real golf is here. What is?
Hey, real golf. Did you watch yesterday?
Okay, so
It was the event of the year.
So I happened to flip on at the end because I saw a clip that said winning is hard, and Denny dumped one into the water in a playoff.
Talking about the Valero Texas Open.
Yeah, the Valero Texas Open. So I saw that. I saw a clip. I was like cleaning up some stuff, and I saw that, and then I went to YouTube TV and I had it recorded, and I went to the end and I flipped on, and it was like at the beginning, didn't Akshay have like a huge lead, and then Denny just sucked up a 7-8 hole lead, and then I'm watching it, and it's like on the 17th hole, it's like for his 8th birdie in a row, and I'm like, wait, what? And then the announcers were like saying that this was the best golf duel that we've seen in a long time, and I ended up rewinding a bunch of it and watching it, and it was pretty wild. And then I flip, I go to like I don't think it was real time, it was right after it happened. Then like Akshay's got like an 80-yard wedge shot, and he calls in his trainer and then like goes and changes. It was like, wait, what is happening? And then I was mad at myself that I didn't see it from the beginning. So
You just real quick on that. You know how why he needed the trainer, right?
no, did he pop his shoulder back in?
He popped his shoulder out celebrating the putt he made on 18 to force the playoff. It was one of the great sporting events I've ever watched. He had like a 6-shot lead at the turn.
So sorry if this is not, I don't even care if this is interesting for anybody else, but but didn't they both had birdie putts on 18 or no?
Yeah, they both made birdie. They both tied.
Okay, so
he caught him on
Denny
17.
putted first and made his?
Yes.
Whoa.
And Akshay made his.
Okay, and then he fist bump celebrated because then he said I need to get taped up, and the announcers couldn't figure out like why he wanted to get taped right now, but it was actually that he needed to get that shoulder popped back in.
I'm not 100% sure it popped out, but they said he threw his shoulder out, and there was like some concerns about this week at Augusta. Hilarious, but like a 6-stroke lead at the turn, and Danny McCarthy just went absolutely blackout lights out.
That's crazy. Only to dump a wedge in the creek.
I was thinking yesterday, Denny McCarthy was playing so well, it was almost like I had money on Akshay. That's the only kind of way you can be that lights out, is if I have money against you. But really, really great tournament. I've underestimated over the years how much the players really like the course, the Valero, wherever the hell that is, TPC, wherever. Yeah. I always thought for years, like, this tournament's been great over the years, producing victories like yesterday where someone needs to get to the Masters. This is kind of their last hope. I think like JJ Spawn did it a few years ago. But I always thought it was kind of a cakewalk course, but obviously Rory played this week. A lot of big name guys played this week. Pretty good test. I mean, Rory, you kind of thought he was an afterthought this week. And just in the back of my head, I was like, well, that's not great going into Augusta. And then I look, did he tie for third outright? So that's actually a pretty good week. Like these two guys, Akshay and Denny, just went crazy. But for my money, that's the event of the year so far.
I didn't want to do it to you this early on the pod, but like Rory missed the cut at the Masters last year. So we gotta, I'm glad he's playing well.
I think we talked about this last week. He teed off in the afternoon, and I think he looked at the scoreboard on one, and he was like 6 or 7 shots behind Brooks or Rahm, and it said it ruined his whole week. So he's not scoreboard watching this week. We're good.
Yeah.
We'll get into picks in a second, but Yeah, interesting time going into the Masters. I feel like the best players aren't really on top of their game. It's kind of anyone's tournament to win. But Denny, I didn't realize he had never won before. That's a guy you perennially just always see in the top 10, 15 of these kind of Valero type events.
He's like that guy that you're watching the event and you're like, I feel like he's a name. Like
Yeah.
what is he? Do you have any idea what his world ranking is off the top of your head?
I know he's in the Masters. He didn't need to win yesterday to get in. So
30th in the world.
Really? Well, that's probably a
Yeah.
big jump from yesterday.
Up from last
coming
week. He's
into.
51st, but he's a perfect guy that like
The top 50 gets into the Masters. So I was going to say he's probably somewhere in the high 40s,
so
but he
he
probably
would
got
have
a
been
big jump.
in. He would have been in anyway. And so do they run the 50? Do they run the top 50 like right as of this week you get in? So like Austin Eckroat, who's 50 right now, or is there a cutoff?
No, I don't think so. I think I don't know if there's a cutoff, but you've seen those FedEx Masters invites get delivered to people.
Oh yeah, that's right. Super early.
That takes. They're not FedExing stuff last night at the local Augusta, Georgia FedEx.
Fake Scott Stallings.
It's so funny. I for the past few weeks, like, there's been a couple first-time winners who got in, or not first time. Like Malnati won a few weeks ago. He got into the Masters. But I always forget. Like I always think like, oh, you win, you're in. But it's an invitational. So all these guys after they win are always like, like I don't want to assume historically they've always it's pretty funny that Augusta could just be like, you know what? No, I didn't like the way Akshay finished that. I didn't like him throwing out his shoulder on 18.
In that example, like of Malnati,
yeah,
like historically they invite all the winners of the last. Is it like of the last calendar year? Basically,
I think the last seat. Yeah, it's 1 or 2 years. I think it might be one. Like Vajegas is going to be back for the first time in forever because
he won in the fall.
The fall, whatever.
My man.
And this year is the first year in a while they've gone back to the calendar year schedule, but they also have the fall stuff they're looping back in because of the transition. So yeah, there's a lot of people that will be playing for the first time in a while, but no Anthony Kim, maybe one day. But I was going to say to you, there was a point on Saturday. We did a lot of spring cleaning this weekend, so I had the TV on. There was a point on Saturday where I watched 4 different professional golf events. All right, sorry, professional is not the right word. 4 different televised golf events, and then if you want to add the drive, chip, and putt on Sunday morning, there was 5.
So you watched the Valero Texas Open,
correct?
You watched the Augusta National Women's Amateur,
the ANWA as we say it, Dave.
Sorry, the ANWA as we say it.
Yeah.
You watched Live Miami.
Amateur women.
Did you watch Live Miami?
Live Miami. Watched a little bit of it.
Yeah. And there was 2 more. Was there a LPGA tour event? You sicko.
Well, yeah. As a hashtag girl dad, I don't need to tell you that Nelly Korda won her 4th consecutive event.
Yeah, she won back. She won 4 weeks in a row. Damn.
And this week was it was a match play event. So it was kind of wonky. It wasn't just best person's going to go out there and win. So she had to fight through brackets and that kind of stuff. It's an interesting setup in that they do stroke play for a bunch of days. And then I think when they get to 4 or the last 8, they do match play. Whereas the old WGC men's one, they would do a huge bracket. But yeah, she won. Did I get to 5? Valero, Live, LPGA, ANWA, drive, chip, and putt. That's 5.
Drive, chip, and putt. How's the drive, chip, and putt?
I only watched for like 5 minutes, but they did say first one they ever did. I think it was 10 years to the day. Akshay was a participant.
He was big, so he's been a flusher.
Big circle of life moment there. But I'll tell you a quick story. I'm not here to pander. I did get wrapped up a little bit into the girl dad women's sports stuff this weekend with Caitlin Clark. Friday night. Wanted to watch a little bit with my 4-year-old daughter, but of course they put that game on at like 9:30
at night. I don't stay up for that.
Yeah, she couldn't been in the 6:00 game for whatever reason. But so then on Saturday, I've got the ANWA on. Did you catch any of this? Did you see any of it?
No. All I know, didn't see any of it. I didn't.
So Lottie Wood was her name. She won. I just happened to watch. She was 1 back. No, she was 2 back. I think with like 6 holes to go. I think she's a freshman at She's from the UK, but she's a freshman at Florida State. She birdies like 13 or 12 or something. So she's one back on the 17th tee. So I'm like, this will be cool. Like, I'll have my daughter come down and just maybe watch 2 holes of golf. Like every time she walks by, it's guys playing golf. Like this would be cool. Maybe she like there's women up here. So I call her down. She's watching like Peppa Pig. So already I'm fighting an uphill battle. Right. So I'm like, watch this. It's this is Daddy's favorite golf tournament. They're hosting women this week. Probably not the right way to frame it to her. Like, this is not my favorite, but this is where they play my favorite now. But I was like, watch this. The girl goes birdie to win it. My wife happens to come down the stairs as like the birdie on 18 is rolling in. I don't know why. I'm recording my daughter watching this for some reason. I'm like, my eyes are like misty. I'm like about to cry. I don't know why. I'm just picturing this young girl, I don't know, winning at Augusta, my daughter there. My wife comes down the stairs and is just like, what the fuck is going on down here? I'm like, there's women's golf on. I'm like crying. My daughter's like watching Peppa Pig on her iPad, pretending to pay attention. So quite a golf weekend for me. Harder to put that on yesterday after watching a ton on Saturday, but it was a huge golf weekend in our household.
So you're
really
already
got
deep.
me in the mood.
You're already deep into the course. That you already feel like you've spent a bunch of time watching Augusta. So you're ready for this weekend. There is something
crispy.
There is something about about showing her golf. So we've been trying to on Fridays. We usually watch a movie together as a family at night. Not that the kids don't watch TV any other time. It's just like that's kind of when we try to pick something. And now they're at the age we try to pick like something that we want to watch too, like we'd get enjoyment out of. So like this week we watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is great.
Yeah.
Last week we tried to watch The Mighty Ducks, and 20 minutes into the movie, it's all like Gordon Bombay's saga, and so everyone was bored and they ejected, right? But in all those movies, it's so interesting how like culture and everything has changed. Like in the mid 90s, like all the jokes were like about like all the boys would joke about like being a girl or something. Like that was the big diss. And like, my daughter's sitting there watching, and she's sick. She's like, wait, why is it a joke? Why did they all just say like, like, and so I do think like the more that I see those things, I'm like, yeah, I want to expose her to like to women playing sports. And I do appreciate things like that, being able to show them. Like actually last year No Laying Up did this awesome, they followed the Stanford women's golf team for a week, and it was like an hour and a half like documentary on YouTube, and it was awesome. And we watched all of it on the couch together, and it was really cool. Just those moments of like, oh yeah, okay, this is cool. So I can totally understand getting into something like that. Yes.
It's one of those things like you hear about it all the time, but like you don't think you can do it until you see it. And it's something of a like, if I haven't even recognized myself that my daughter's never walked by and not seen just old men playing golf,
Right.
Like it was just this kind of click for me. Like, oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And look, I'll watch any golf. I've said that forever, but just when she walks by, it's.
Growing up, my cousin, she was an amazing golfer, and like her dad always had her around the course. And like when she was like in 10th grade, she was like, she could hit the ball real good and like was hitting bombs. And I'm like, man, that'd be the best feeling ever, to have your daughters be like an amazing golfer and being out there on the course. Everybody's joining me right now because there's a eclipse and there's no school today here in Vermont. Because this is the world. The world location. This is the best location in the world for the eclipse today. So
Do you have your eclipse
excited.
classes?
We have every version of eclipse glasses. We have we've run the gamut on making sure that nobody loses their vision today. So we have every precautionary measure that you could imagine. Yes.
My wife asked me last night, do you have eclipse glasses? And I checked my pockets and I didn't. That's something I think you have to intentionally plan ahead for. And I was like, oh. Amazon says they could get here by Wednesday. When's the next one? A couple decades.
I also I spent some more time catching up on Full Swing this past weekend. Tom Kim episode leading into the Masters, I thought I would bring up to you, where young Tom Kim goes to the Masters for the first time and he accidentally stumbles his way into the champions locker room.
We talked about this a few weeks ago, how like I came to the realization, I thought that show's not for me. I love it. It's really good. Like I'll devour it in 2 or 3 days every year it comes out. But I don't get frustrated with the with the really I don't know, repetitive stuff that we already know, because that's for the masses. They're trying to appeal to everyone. That's the kind of stuff that is for me. That kind of stuff, like Tom Kim wandering into
It was amazing.
and like no one
He
telling him no.
Well, and but he no one told him no, but he was very uncomfortable. Like he was like,
You could
I think
tell.
I'm not supposed to be in here. Like I
It's
felt
like when a kid does something that they know they're not supposed to do, but they're pretending they kind of don't know.
yeah,
It's like, oh,
yeah.
I
I
guess.
I actually thought of you. I'm like, oh my gosh, Casey would be like an amazing person to like if Casey like accidentally stumbled into the champions locker room at Augusta, like full
I'd
panic. Like
I'd withdraw from the tournament. Yeah,
just out of respect.
this one's on me. Yeah,
I'm not even gonna play this week.
totally, 100%. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like I think it's in the first 30 seconds of the whole season, but like Matt Fitzpatrick just lathering himself with sunscreen. Like that's the behind the scenes stuff. I don't feel like we get like a lot of that. We've been getting a lot of tour personalities over the last 2 years, maybe not for the right reasons, but
Yeah.
that's just a cool reminder of like these are, or like the Spieth Hadwin Ricky thing where they're just firing balls at the porta potty, right? Like I know that's like childish, but it's
Yeah.
cool. Like
Well, I think because
we
on
don't get
TV
enough
you
of that.
just we don't see on TV you just see them play and then you realize like, oh man, these people are they're traveling together every week. They're always around each other. Even just like playing like local golf tournaments in Vermont, you end up like having a couple buddies and you make jokes with on the range. It's like, oh, on that scale, like there's obviously some stuff that goes on.
So what
It was
episode would you
nice.
say you're through? Are you done? Or are you just up through that one, or like 6 or 7?
I'm up through the Fitzpatrick's episode.
What do you think of that one?
Um, it was good.
Okay, it's enough said.
No, it was good. It was good. I didn't give you I was trying to give you the answer. I was trying to think about like, what were you looking for when you asked me that question?
That's not what we do here,
Um,
Dave.
I thought it was cool. And I was surprised at how open, Alex was about being in Matt's shadow. Cause I wouldn't have guessed that from the outside. And I think being open, but it's weird cause it seems like they have a good relationship. Like it doesn't seem like they're like it doesn't seem like he's like resentful of like he can both
No.
things can be true. Like please please not right now. Both things can be true. Like he can want to be out of his shadow, but he doesn't like have this like crazy deep hatred and resentment of his brother. Also just the juxtaposition of like makes you realize like how much success Matt has had, and like to the average person nobody's going to recognize Matt Fitzpatrick, but that guy's made like millions and millions of dollars. He's won a ton of time. Did he win the AM and the junior AM? He won both. Did he win both AMs? Do you know that? Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if he won the junior. He won
Okay,
the
so he
U.S.
won the
Amateur and
so
the
he
U.S.
won the
Open at the
so
Country
right.
Club.
Okay, so he's won a major. Like he's going on the private jet. His
Oh yeah,
his caddy is Billy Foster. Like then
he's
you
got
got
the flashy braces.
not anymore. No, he looks great now.
I know.
They're off now.
He's got the attractive fiance.
He's kind of a handsome young lad now. She gambled and she won.
Yeah.
Like when those braces came off, it's all good.
I believe I saw stuff where they were practicing going into the week. I didn't see them yesterday. Maybe they're out of contention. But Alex apparently caddied for his girlfriend in the Anwa.
Oh, so that was another thing. That was pretty cool. Seeing them just like hang out at the Wake Forest practice facility, and she's a player. Like, did he play college golf somewhere?
He must have. I mean, how many guys can, finish like top 5 in the Open and not play college golf? He must have played.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he went. I know Fitz went to Northwestern, but he was his caddy for that U.S. Amateur at
I saw
Brookline
just
too.
a young little.
So I did a deep dive on them before I went to that out here in the Boston area a few years ago. So I kind of knew a little bit about his backstory. And when Matt won the U.S. Open, was it last summer or 2 summers ago? They had a lot of cameras on him and his mom and his family. So I kind of knew a little bit of the backstory. So I actually thought that was one of the better episodes. The reason I asked that, and maybe you were thinking I was going to go different ways. I've heard some backlash on that episode, but to me, that's like, I think they're trying to show you in that different types of people, right? There's like the superstar people, the Rorys. There's the young guys like the Tom Kims, the phenoms, but there's also this other kind of journeyman kind of grade of amateur player who
What was the
any week can have a
backlash?
great week. No, I just don't think people enjoyed that episode as much. I think I saw a bunch of rankings, and that was one of the lower ranked ones. But for me, that was one of the more memorable ones.
Would I have liked to see more about like this is why Matt Fitzpatrick chips cross-handed type? Yes, but again, that's not
Right.
That's
Is
not what
that what Netflix is trying to do? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
when
we need like an outtake version of this that's on like Golf Pass or something where we're, it's like the behind the scenes stuff that we would care about.
Yeah, and I mean they're just so they're brothers. They swing it so differently. Like I think the whole thing is fascinating to me. Like, anyway, we got to talk about the Masters, man. We got to.
Yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready to give you your flowers. My Masters. My Masters knowledge. Yeah, you can.
Before we get to that, before we go fully to the Masters, we got to do a little housekeeping here. We're many weeks behind on this. And we can fly through it, but we haven't updated the title sponsor challenge in a while.
I'm ready.
Okay. So we're going back a few weeks. I think it was called the Texas Children's Houston Open. Do you know what Texas Children's does?
Yeah, it's got a hospital. Got to be like a hospital. Like
yeah,
Boston
got to be.
Children's
I'm not even going to check that one. So that's an easy one. How about Valspar?
Valspar?
I feel like this is one of the easier ones on tour. Not like a John Deere, but or an AT&T Pro-Am, but
I don't know. Is it like Valero is the next one, and that's like that's oil and gas. Is Valspar also oil and gas?
I would say it's
no. Wait, stop. Is Valspar paint?
Yes.
Let's go.
Isn't the trophy like a paint bucket or something?
Dude, you're asking me? I don't know. This
Okay.
You were like, yeah. What do you mean? It's the Hero World Challenge. It's all the motorcycles. I'm like, yeah, I've never noticed that.
Well, they have the motorcycles in every tee box.
Sure.
That's why I had that reaction to that one. But so you got 3 out of 4. No, you got most of all of them, but there's one we missed. And maybe this is too soon, but there's one tournament we missed. Do you know what Arnold Palmer does?
Iced tea. It's half iced tea, half lemonade.
I guess so. Yeah. I played with a guy that knew him once, and their take was Arnold Palmer does anything that can walk. So we'll move on from that. All right, so we're caught up. You don't hear that. You hear the tiger on that a lot.
Listen to my guys on the Shotgun Start, and they're more enlightened. Like I'll see a golf course and think it looks amazing, and they're like, "This is the worst golf course you could ever play in the world." And so anyway, Andy was saying that wherever they played, what was last week, Texas Children's.
Yep, Houston.
That Houston course is like a public course, and it's very accessible, and so that part of it is pretty cool. But anyway, shrink the game. Let's talk about Augusta. Who's the title sponsor? Here is
it's usually Mercedes, Rolex, and AT&T. I think so. We know what they do.
I would be. This is like the tournament though. Like, tell me, like, if you're like, how nervous would you be about not just playing in this tournament, but if you're some amateur or someone who got in randomly, deep in the world rankings, you got in here somehow, you got an invite, like this is the one place that like you show up, like if you walk into the wrong room at the Valero Texas Open, you're like, okay, oops, my bad. Where's the bathroom? Right.
Yeah.
This place, I feel like I would just be on edge from like the minute I got there.
So I've been for a practice round years ago. It's that vibe everywhere. You're like, you feel like you're in.
Did you feel that as a patron, like as a patron? Yeah.
Well, not as a player, definitely as a patron. You feel it like just lining up to. We got there so early. It was like as the gates open up, and you get there so early, and there's constantly people reminding you like there's no running. But it's almost like a self-governing thing. Like the mood is so principal's office. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's very buttoned up, and you kind of know that going into it. People don't really push the limits. Speaking of Shotgun Start, I was listening this morning. They had an anecdote from the ANWA. I don't know if you heard this, but the girl who won, what was her name? Lottie Woad. Apparently, before she made her putt on 18, a security guard came up behind her father and whispered in his ear, this isn't the U.S. Open. There's no yelling here. Right before his daughter's about to win
Wait,
the Enma.
what?
So they were debating like, is this a Masters thing or like
So,
I guess the national thing, or is this a rogue security guard? And we've all been through
if you
rogue
win, you're
security guards.
supposed to be like, and
Your
that's
daughter.
how is that even true? So whoever wins the Masters, no one's yelling. That's that. Get out of here.
Well, that's what they were saying. They're like, you think Charlie was yelling when his dad won in 2019?
Yeah.
Anyway, Augusta's one of these places that, like, they can have as many rules as they want. I don't care. Like, that place is so cool. That's fine. And as someone who's been there, Dave, a lot of people don't know this. TV doesn't really do justice to the course of how flat it is.
Oh, really? I haven't heard that.
It's like Florida. It's flat.
I've never heard that. Yeah.
Completely flat. No, so yeah, it's incredible.
That's why your boy can't make it a round and a half there, because it's like walking Everest.
Exactly. So you said right before we got in here, you had some picks you were jotting down.
Yeah.
Do you want to do some picks? You want to get into some?
No,
I got some guys I think might be contenders, and then some long shot guys. But
and just
however
let it
you
be
wanna do it.
known. Let it be known, I'm coming for your ass with all this golf course stuff. I'll be at the Masters. Not sure when, but I'll be there. Like this, first I had once I got now that I've been to Pinehurst, everything's open. Where am I gonna go? I'm gonna go to Pine Valley, Seminole.
You're not going to Pine
Sabonic,
Valley.
Augusta. Is it because I'm Jewish?
No one can get into Pine Valley.
Not even JJ Redick.
So
I'm coming.
Pine Valley is harder than Augusta to get on. Put it this way, I know four people that have played Augusta National. I don't know a single person that's played Pine Valley.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's pretty wild. I did like that Bob Kraft Edelman story you sent clip you sent me. Anyway, I'm gonna so for picks, I decided to go with not who I think is going to win.
Smart.
I decided to pick 3. I got 4 picks. And these are Dave's who I want to win the Masters. Okay? Are you okay with that?
Okay. Who you want? I like this. Yeah.
Yeah, this is who I want. Who do I think is going to win? Scotty Scheffler. I would love to see a Rahm, Rory, Brooke. Like, I just want to see a stack. Like, I want that to happen.
Is that a pick? Are those your picks?
That's not a pick. No, this is just commentary. This is color commentary. This is Kyle Porter, Here's my take. Who I want to win. Now, this is not in a particular order. Number 1, who I want to win. He hits the ball very far. He's very smart. He may have gotten himself in a little bit of a pickle with the golf ball video 2 weeks ago. Number 1 on my list of who I want to see win the Masters is Bryson DeChambeau.
I like it.
Plus 3,500 if you like those odds.
Can we pause just for a second and I'll give you the floor just a minute to talk about that video. You didn't even have to watch it to get it, but go for it.
Okay, so the I'll talk about the video.
Let's set what the video. If people didn't know what the video is,
so Bryson has a video on his YouTube channel where he played with a rolled back ball. Apparently, it was like a Nike. It was like an older Nike. Was it Nike ball or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, and basically, what happens is the ball just kind of floats on him, and so he hits like a big hook, and he says, "Oh, I hit that a little bit off the heel, and if that was my ball, it probably wouldn't have gone here." And everybody made a big deal about it because everyone's like, Bryson unintentionally just advocated for the rollback. Now, I understand that, but I also think he's not done. Everybody likes to paint him. They like to shit on Bryson, but like, he's very smart. He knows about that. What he's saying is he doesn't want to play with that ball. He wants to play with the new technology. And so I understand that. I think that's what that's what he's trying to show. He was trying to show like there is a big difference. Like, this is how the game is now. This is the ball that we use.
Yeah. He's one of those guys. I think people are they have their finger at all times on the dunk button. You know what I mean? Like, anytime they can smell it, they're like, we're going to dunk on Bryson. And that, I mean, look, a lot of these guys created their own world with that stuff. But
they did.
Yeah,
and golfers golfers are the worst. And there's always been that kid since you were playing in 8th grade, and you got that kid with the collared shirt, buttoned all the way to the top and iron covers in your group, and you're like, man, what is this? And that's how people
Yeah.
feel about Bryson.
Every shaft the same length. We've all played with this kid.
All right, so Bryson is number 1 on that list. Would love to see him win. I would love him to see him.
I would say he's probably the funniest pick.
Thank you.
I think it would be hilarious to see him like have to just like he's in the club now, right? I think he'd try to like film a YouTube video at the champions dinner, and
it'd be great. He should be there.
Someone would get pissed off. Yeah,
he should be there. Number 2 on my list, not a really funny one, just somebody that I like and I enjoy, and he's grown on me a lot. Is Max Homa. I'd love to see Max be in the mix at a major, which is something I don't think we've seen. Max is plus 4,000. I'm just giving you the odds. You're going to
what does it say? I don't know.
Just,
read the numbers to me. I don't think it's 4,000, but is it 4000?
Yeah,
that's 40 to 1. They call it
plus 4,000. That's what I call it.
It's
40 to 1.
It's 40 to 1 odds. I don't know.
So Bryson is 35 to 1. Max is 40 to 1.
Yep. I mean, those are crazy odds for anyone that's a former major champion. So good value.
So
there.
Bryson is a former major championship.
Yep.
Max is not. Number 3 on my list is Cam Young. Cam Young should be involved.
If you're gonna do it, why not do it there?
Major. If you're gonna do it, it just feels like it feels like a good one for him.
Real quick, I meant to do this off the top with you. This has to do with him. Let's do a quick 4-person draft right now. I'll give you the first and last pick. You tell me what pick you want.
Okay.
But we're gonna draft what I think are the 4 best players that have never won.
Okay.
So we'll have 2 each, and whoever wins first. This is gonna be a long-term thing.
So we got Cam Young.
I'm gonna put Denny in there just because of yesterday. Maybe he's not. You could argue with who the 4 should be, but we'll put Denny in there.
All right.
Bo Hostler. Bo Hostler. There's a great article a few weeks ago or months ago on, I think it was golf.com. There's like 16 guys ever that have made 10 million on tour, no wins. He's one of them. Our boy
made that much money. Wow.
Brendan DeYoung's on that list too. Anyway, so we got
he didn't win.
Denny.
Brendan DeYoung never won.
Not on the PGA Tour. Denny, Bo Hostler, Cam Young, and Tommy Fleetwood. I'll give you the first pick. What do you want there?
Now, is this like who is most likely to win?
Just whoever wins their first tournament first wins. Just a 4-person pod thing. A foursome pod here. Who are we drafting?
Okay, I'm going to take Cam. I can tell you who's not going to be. It's never going to be. It's not going to be Tommy Fleetwood. I just feel like he's
really
just to have that like he feels like that like European stud. But like, wait a second, Tommy he never won like. Oh
but those are the guys that win. Like I can see him at like 32 winning the Open. You know what I mean? Like Tommy, I'll say it right now, Tommy Fleetwood's going to win the Open at some point.
No way. Maybe. Yeah, like he's 40 and it's like this huge historic. Like, can you?
It's like a Shane Lowry kind of situation. I know he won like basically in his hometown that Open, but these journeyman guys who like they grow up playing in like terrible European weather, at some point run into a victory. Yeah. Whether it's Shane Lowry, whether it's what's his name? Remember his name, Darren Clark. All those years ago, like he never had anything, and then ran into one towards the end. That was a major, but okay. I'm going to take Fleetwood, and I'll take Bo. So you got Cam and Denny. I got Bo and Tommy. All right. Let's get back to your Masters.
Right.
Pick. So I just want to be on the record.
Bryson 35 to 1, Max 40 to 1, Cam Young 40 to 1, and you want to talk about a guy? I don't know nothing about gambling. I don't know the course. How do they got my number 4 on my list is my man, Phil Mickelson. 10,000 plus 10,000. Is that 100 to 1?
How many zeros?
10. It's 10. It's the number 10,000.
I think you said 10 zeros. I was like, we could get some money together and put in that.
Him and Tiger. It's a 1 with 4 zeros.
They're tied. Tiger and Phil have the same odds. That's
Tiger
insane.
and
Phil finished 2nd or 3rd last year, right?
He finished 2nd.
I mean, he shot like a 52 on Sunday.
Just saw Janko's boy. You saw the caddy video you sent me. That guy's got the best screen reader. He's the best screen reader on planet Earth on his back.
Tell that real quick because we got Janko working on that now.
So Phil gets a new caddy. His brother Tim was his caddy. He gets a new caddy. This guy John Yarborough, something like that. Janko messages me. He's like, "You won't believe this." And the more that I've gotten to know this guy, he's like an onion. Where like he's like first cousin is Lindsay Lohan. It's like he's just
Jenko, your golf coach.
yeah, it's insane. He's just like he's a character. And the more layers you go with him, you're like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I got so many things I haven't told you yet either. And so he's like, yeah, so I played golf with this guy. He was a good buddy of mine in high school. He was a senior. I was a sophomore. He used to give me rides. And I feel like we've all had that relationship with somebody. And so he's like, yeah, I messaged him. He said, oh, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Then you send me this video, and Phil sends this video of like, John Yarbrough is the best green reader I've ever worked with. And he's like, he's out there doing aim point, and Phil's like, come in here. Is this such a good video? He's like, come in here real quick. What do you think? What do you think? So like here, Phil makes a 30-footer. Boom. Next clip is like, John's out there doing aim point again. He's like, you like it right here? Yeah, right at the flag. Phil makes another putt. Boom. It was like the best 1-minute Instagram video I've ever seen. And so Phil at 100-1 with Johnny Y on the bag and a Janko connection. I'm saying I guarantee a top, clip this for next week, guaranteed top 10 finish for Phil in the Masters this week. Book it. Plus a Bryson win. We got those guys. It's gonna be a live centric top 10. That's all I can say.
Well, if you let me give you those odds. You might want to vamp for a second because it's going to take me a little while to scroll down for 5 minutes to find Phil at the bottom of this list. But
I'm just uninspired.
I want to find it. Do you have his top 10 odds there? Oh, here we go.
No.
12-1 top 10.
You're asking the guy who
12-1.
cited him as I cited my first guy as plus 4,000. You're asking me if I have the top 10 odds.
Fire up the Starlink and give me his odds. No, I like it. I mean, that would be if Phil Mickelson won the Masters this week. That would be Tiger and like 86 Jack on steroids, right?
Yeah,
I'll give you one more because he's struggling to get top 50 in a 64 team league and live. So
it doesn't matter. He's going to turn around. I'll give you my one last pick, and then I'll shut up. And I'd like to hear your thoughts for this. My last thing is like the number one player who I do not want to see win this week. Like I do not need a Wyndham Clark Masters win. Like if Wyndham wins the Masters, like that's not what I'm here for this weekend. That's all. No disrespect to Wyndham. He's a great player. I just feel like that's like it feels to me like a Louis Oosthuizen being in the mix. Like just one
what's
of those
wrong with
guys
Louis?
Like,
Louis is one of my all-time favorites.
Louis is great. He had a great run like 2 years ago. It's just one of those names. Like I just want, when it's a major, I want to look at the leaderboard and I want to see the guys there. Like it's like seeing Brian Harmon up by 6 shots on Sunday. You're like, ugh. So anyway, all right. What do you got?
Real quick, I've been saying this a lot recently. There's no player I've done a 180 on more in the last probably year, or really ever in my golf fandom, than Wyndham. And it wasn't even that Netflix episode.
It's because he meditates.
No, the best part about that Netflix his episode is it's mostly centered around him working with kind of like a mental coach, this woman who helps him kind of stay.
Julie.
Yeah, it's like he had a lot of anger issues. When that came out,
now tell me what you think. Was that really a bad shot?
The week that came out, that weekend, I forget what tournament it was, but like the first clip I saw him was like hitting one in the water and just like dee. Like,
I love that.
Just completely snapping.
I love it.
Like in fairness, that episode was filmed a year ago, so maybe things have gone backwards. But his odds are just crazy high for who is, I think, arguably the second best player in the world in the last 12 months. Right? Who's been better than him other than Scotty in the last year? Going back to last year's Augusta. And what were his odds? He was on my list. He was 30-1. I mean, come on, 30-1 is crazy. Give some context here. I think Purdue, we're filming this Monday morning. Purdue is plus 220 against UConn tonight, and they're a huge underdog.
So is that
I know people know
220 be 2-1? That's roughly 2.
Yeah, a little more than 2-1 tonight.
Yeah.
It's like 100 would win to whatever, 2 and change. We're talking about 30-1 for the second best player in the world right now. I don't know if he's played Augusta. I don't think so, right? He was one of the guys that said he wouldn't play until he could qualify. Scotty's 4-1. So like think of those odds. Is
I
Scotty
know.
almost 8-9 times more likely to win than Wyndham?
Ugh.
Maybe, but
It's almost so. It's like I appreciate how good Scotty. Like just to think about how good Rory is at golf, right? How much pressure to feel like if you're Rory going into this Masters, or even Scotty. I guess Scotty doesn't. Scotty has less to lose than Rory. Rory's never won the Masters, but just like to be that good and everyone expects you to win the Masters has got to be just it's an insane feeling.
well, he's the hardest kind of guy to beat because he really doesn't make mistakes. So it's just he's going to party to death, and then if he gets hot on the putter, he's like that's the thing with Scotty. Like he's not the greatest putter, but he just doesn't make big numbers. So he doesn't need to make a ton of birdies because he's going to be so
Right.
close that he's going to make X amount of 10 footers that he needs to make around a weekend,
Yeah.
a week. And that's the thing. It's like, it's so hard for these guys. We always talk about like, oh, Rory's never won the Masters. Like you have to outplay not just yourself, but like everyone's best week. Like Akshay or Denny McCarthy shooting a 32, or sorry, what did he shoot? A 28 yesterday on the back nine. Like you never know when that's going to happen. So you just got to take the odds when you get them, the value when you get them. So I wrote down a bunch of people. Rory, I'm going to bet Rory every single year in the Masters till he gets one. It's just my pledge. So 10-1. I think he's playing well. He came in third this week. To me, it doesn't matter if you're playing well heading into Augusta because many people play 3 great rounds here and they're playing well and then they blow up on Sunday. So it's really about
Yeah. Well, just like how do you get on the first tee? And the key to playing great golf is having no expectations. And how do you just get on? How does Rory get on the first tee? And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like
well,
how hard is that to do, right?
I know we keep bringing this up, but like he's talked about it for a year now to tell you how important it is to him. Is he's like, I can't look at the scoreboard. If I have an afternoon tee time at the Masters, like I can't look at the scoreboard when I'm off the first tee and see, oh shit, I'm 6 back. Then you make a bogey in your first few holes, like now I'm 7. Like you can't do that in golf because it's such a long ride. And if you scoreboard watch, you're going to be just killing yourself all week. So I think it's for him, it's like just playing in the moment. So Rory never plays the week before the Masters too, and he played this week. So maybe this could be his year. I had a wild week in Texas, but did you watch or see any of the coverage from the Spieth experiment this week?
The Spieth experiment? No, just like him playing. Was it not
What
good?
he did his opening round. You know the Spieth scorecard where it's just like looks like your daughter was drawing on it. Like there's zero pars.
Like he makes a million birdies and a bunch of doubles and a bunch.
I think
of
he had an 8 and a 1 back to back or something, or he had an ace and a triple or something. Do yourself a favor after this. Take a look at the relief he got yesterday. He hit the clubhouse on purpose to get specific relief. Went like 250 yards out of the way just to hit the roof of a clubhouse, just so he could get relief. Which is, I wouldn't call it the spirit of the game, but he's driving the ball well, and he was so up and down. He still finished top 10. He's on my list this week. He's 20-1. I think those are pretty good numbers. Hideki Matsuyama is playing really well too. He won earlier this year. He's kind of been in contention, or at least top 10. A lot of the tournaments coming down the stretch here. I mentioned Wyndham at 30-1. Another guy 30-1 I like, Ludwig. Did you see the clip this week of him driving the green without a driver, the driver head?
I did.
That's pretty cool.
It didn't break; it just flew off. So I'm like a little bit like it's possible. But I did watch a video with him. I did watch me and my golf, which is a great YouTube channel. These guys just kind of do golf instruction. They did a segment with him on driver, and he just like effortlessly. It made you realize. I think in my world, I hit the ball pretty far. Like I can carry it 280, which is pretty cool. He gets out of there, no warm up, and this first drive of the day, he carried it 310, and I'm like, oh my god, like his driver is just so insane, and I think he's a great fit for Augusta. So I love Ludwig. I wish he was like a wild person. Like I want to like him more because I wish he was like a wild personality. It's like why I love Bryson. He's so long and he's wild, and he just has a great personality. With Ludwig, I'm like, he's kind of like a Scotty personality.
But I think you might just be making the case for him, right? Because like I think you need a kind of guy that has no like pulse, good for better or worse, right? Like if he's, what is he, 22, 23? Like if he has the lead on Sunday, You want a guy that looks like he, has a resting heart rate or whatever. Like, I don't think of like
my
Bryson's
boy
never won.
Patrick.
Think of guys that are like manic on the golf course. Like Spieth won, but I don't think Spieth's won since he's become this whatever version of Spieth's been the last 7 or 8 years, where he's just kind of just a wild golfer out there and is all over the place. But a lot of the guys I think are just those kind of rock solid guys. Like Scotty's the perfect example of that. Who else do I have real quick? Willie Z, Zalatoris, like one of the best strokes gained record at Augusta. Not a ton of rounds, but he's played well recently a few times. Russell Henley playing well, just one of those random guys you're like, oh fuck, I didn't bet on Russell Henley. I bet he'll be in contention. And I'll give you two long shots here. Eric Van Rooyen, either first round leader or winner at 250 to 1.
EVR.
Or as you would say, 25,000 to 1. And Ryan Fox, same out odds, 250 to 1. His father was
I like those.
All-time New Zealand rugby player.
Those
are my picks for the week. And I will always be rooting for Tiger. Just to jump on your bandwagon, my least valuable person, I don't want to see win. Sergio would probably be top of that list always.
Yeah, not even close. No chance he makes the cut, Sergio. All right, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch some golf. I will watch the golf this weekend. I promise you that.
How many days do you think?
Good luck to Bryson.
Yeah.
Definitely Sunday. Definitely Sunday afternoon. Like Sunday, definitely. I'll probably watch a bunch of it on Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon. Saturday's the day that I TBD. But I'm excited.
I got real quick. I know we're going. I got one inner OB for you.
All right,
if you get the time, we can close on this.
Let's do it.
This came out of a quote this weekend I saw from Jon Rahm, now of the Live Tour, formerly PGA. He said, I'll put it this way, inner OB, professional golf events doing 72 holes for a tournament. Are you inner OB on that? Because John is in on that. I know he knew going to Live that they did 54, but he's been talking a lot about this, but he came out yesterday and said, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I definitely wouldn't mind going back to 72 holes.
Yeah, it's great. I appreciate the honesty. He got the bag, and he still can critique the format. I think it's fantastic. He might lose a leg. They might come for a leg or something. They might cut off his club
Literally.
foot. They might cut off his, you got to be careful out there. But yeah, I think you're right. I've never had any success in any tournament, really. So I don't have any, I don't have any personal anecdotes to that. I can get hot for like a round. Usually I'll shoot 81, then I'll shoot 73. It never happens the other way. But I'm an advocate of that. I think it all doesn't matter. I think a year from now, there's going to be one golf tour and it's going to be 4 rounds and we'll be back to normal.
I was with you for a while. Now, if I'm the tour, I'm like, let's just wait these guys out. Because these people do not want to be in the golf operations business. The players don't seemingly want to be on the tour. All they complain about is that they're not getting into majors, which they knew going into this, leaving the tour. If I'm the tour, I'd be like, if we wait a year and just don't give in to anything, like, are these guys just going to leave? Or it's just pretty wild. I mean, he if you were Yasser, you've shelled out how many billions of dollars for all this? Not that they care. And you hear the guy you just gave like 500 million to says, if there's ever a way Liv could go to 72 holes, I think it would help this argument a lot. The closer I think we can get Liv golf to some other things, meaning PGA Tour, the better. Is that what you want to hear after you just give a guy $500 million like 3 months ago? Just ridiculous. I'm by the way, I'm in on 72 holes for a golf tournament. Just to put a bow on that. And John is too, so happy to have John. Oh. You unplug your headphones?
I just was saying Bryson come on the pod. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, the Karma Gods shot the headphones right out of that. Yeah, Bryson come on the pod, and good luck to everyone this week with Master stuff. My wife said to me yesterday, do you want to host a Masters party on Sunday? I said, that's fine. Everyone just has to leave by like 1 o'clock before it starts.
Hey, you got a little golf date. You're going to go to the simulator, have a beer.
That's Thursday, yep.
And watch the golf. All
right.
Good luck.
Good luck, everyone, Masters. Good luck, everyone else, and Rory. Come on the pod.
He's talking the long game.
They play
play the long game.
They're experienced and they play